If we can read, we can learn anything about everything and everything about anything. Friends and my dear children, I welcome you gladly to today's discussion on the development of reading skill. And before we have a discussion about the development of reading skill, let's have a discussion on the importance of reading skill. When we enter into a business house, a shop, usually at the present time you see how the shops are covered with glasses and there is a glass door, and in the glass door it is written whether you have to pull the door or push the door. If we don't read English, reverse may happen and we have to give the compensation to the owner. And think about the purchase of a medicine. While purchasing a medicine, we see the name of the medicine, the cost of the medicine, and very important is the expiry date of the medicine. If we ignore the expiry date of the medicine, someone may expire. Think about the importance of reading skill. And when we talk about the marketplaces, there are some specific place where we have to park our vehicle, and it is written no parking zone. And if we don't read it properly, then we have to also pay the fine to the municipal authority, to the panchayat authority. And at the present time, how social media is a strong medium through which we know everything at the present time. And in the social media, it may be WhatsApp, it may be the Twitter, it may be the Facebook. In those medias, we read, and specifically we read in English. And think about the news at the present time. While watching the news also, no doubt we listen. At the same time also, we read the news in the scroll bar. And think about the students when they read the question paper, they read the books, they read the notebooks. If we don't read properly, carefully, then think about the consequence and think about the career. So reading English is a must at the present time. Let's switch over to the second part of our discussion, that is the development of reading skill. I might have told you earlier, my dear students, my dear children, my dear friends, that how listening develops the speaking skill, the reading develops the writing skill. So a good reader is a good writer. And it is told that we read to understand first. How we listen to understand, similarly we read to understand. The first and foremost reason why we read, the answer is we read for comprehension, we read for understanding. And the most important thing, I still remember my childhood days, whenever I was in school career, early in the morning, very early in the morning, usually my family was also early risers. And at that time, I still remember that 4 o'clock morning when I was opening my books, and 1 hour from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, 1 hour I was in one line. Means I was dozing, and whenever I was That is, wake up. At the time, I was reading the same line. 1 hour. In the duration of 1 hour, I was in one line, not going ahead. Why this happens? It is because of the interest. So we have to give the book, the right kind of book to the child. We should not tell that the child hates reading. We have to think it carefully that perhaps we failed to give the right kind of book to the child. We have to think about the interest of the child, the interest of the person. And how can we make reading interesting? Apart from the textbooks, we may use some comic books, we may use some story books. And sometimes also, so long as the development of reading skill of the children, we may give some paragraphs to the children where they will read and they will do something. They will read and they will draw a picture. They will read and they will draw a diagram, or they will read and sometimes they will speak. And I must suggest to my teaching community, specifically those who teach languages, that give a particular subject, a particular topic to the children. In group they will discuss, and individually they will express, individually they will speak on the same topic. And sometimes also to make it interactive, how the child will be interactive with the textbook, we may have another aspect of reading skill, that is note making. That is how a particular paragraph the child will read, or sometimes you will read and you will make the note of the main points and sub points of the same paragraph, because each paragraph contains a particular main idea and some sub ideas, some points will be there that will help the main idea to express. And very important thing is there is a confusion regarding reading silently or reading aloud. My dear friends, we may have the reading aloud in the lower classes for the students of lower classes, maybe up to 5th or 6th, or maybe up to 7th also. And after that, we can have the silent reading. Why this? Because at the same time, we should not give focus on two different skills. That is, one is the reading skill, and the other, while reading also, you see that two activities will work. One will, the person will think about reading and understanding, and the second time how reading fluently. That may be also part of speaking skill. Two skills, development of two activities may not be done at the same time. So when we read silently, that helps us for better comprehension or better understanding. And it is very important for the children. Most of my students, they tell that, sir, I have done fantastic in the examination. And when the result comes out, it is neither Fanta nor stick. Why this happens? Because when they read the question, while reading the question, just they read first 2-3 words, then they start writing the answer. And my dear children, my dear friends, read the question paper very carefully. That will be very helpful for writing the answer, because at the present time, modern time, you see the questions are very specific. 3, 4, 5 lines will be there in the question, but there will be only one answer. We have to carefully read the question, then only we have to start writing the answer. And the most important thing is concentration. If we don't concentrate on reading, then nothing will be the output. Only reading in the sake of reading, there will be no understanding. Sometimes I ask at the end of my classes that any doubt to my students? They say no doubt. And there are two types of no doubts. One is that when a student or a child listens carefully from the beginning to the end of the class, there is no doubt. And sometimes, if the body is present and mind is absent, for the absent-minded students, they listen nothing. From the beginning to the end of the class, they listen nothing. There is no doubt. So I think we have to be very concentrative while reading. And while reading a particular paragraph, while reading a text, my dear students, try to read the group of words, not a particular word. That will speed up your reading, number one. And also, there that will develop your successful reading skill, because we don't read words, we read the sense of the text. So you may get the sense group in the sentence, maybe a part of sentence or the whole sentence. Try to read the whole sentence or the part of the sentence, not word to word, but sense to sense, group of words to group of words. When we talk about the distance, I must request to the parents specifically and teachers that when the child or the student reads in class or at home, what is the distance between his eyes and the textbook, eyes and the thing that he reads or she reads? That is very important. If it is very closer or if it is very distant, please advise them for eye testing. That is, a proper distance is very important. And when you talk about the practice is everything. Sometimes we think that I read the mobile phones, I read text from the internet, in the computer, but a book has no alternative. A book has no substitute, because someone has told that a house without books is a room without windows. The windows and doors of knowledge will be closed forever if we don't have a book with you. The best companion, there is no alternative to the books. Have a book with you. Similarly, we can conclude our class today with the quotation of Richard Steele, who said that reading is to mind what exercise is to body. Same thing. We don't have the regular exercise to the body every day, daily. What will happen to the body? Similarly, if we don't have the reading activity every day on regular basis, then that will happen to our mind. And finally, we can say that not all readers are leaders. Not all readers are leaders, but all leaders are good readers. Thank you. Thank you very much.